And they're off and racing. The Royal Oak Heavitree Chasing Excellence Beginner's Chase, now just with 8 rather than 12 fences to take. On the run down towards the first of them, Tripoli Flyer and Salver, in company with Lulamba, Fingle Bridge, and right at the back is Largy Belter. So they'll make their way up past us and then swing towards the 3 fences, water jump, plain and open ditch before an extremely long run between fences 4 and 5. And it's Tripoli Flyer, blue with the yellow star, who leads Salver, black with white stars. Lulamba in 3rd place in the check colours of yellow and black, ahead of Fingle Bridge, who is in 4th in the pale blue with the star, and also pale blue with the orange epaulets. Held up off the back of the quartet is Largy Belter as we reach the water jump number 2. Tripoli Flyer, Salver, Lulamba, Fingle Bridge and Largy Belter, and there were no serious alarms over that as we head on towards the next. Tripoli Flyer, Salver, good leap by Lulamba, better than Salver, and Nico de Boinville just grabbed hold there just to try and stem any momentum going into the open ditch that would have been a little exuberant, and as a result got into the bottom of it slightly. So out in the lead it is Tripoli Flyer, and we now have the best part of a mile between fences 4 and 5. So Tripoli Flyer out in the lead under Jonathan Burke, winner of last year's Dovecote, leads Salver, 3rd in a Triumph Hurdle, leading Lulamba in 3rd place, 2nd in a Triumph Hurdle, and then reversed the form with Poniros in Grade 1 company at Punchestown. They're clear of Fingle Bridge, who was unbeaten over hurdles, another one having his chasing debut today, and Largy Belter is held up at the back of the 5-strong field, who've separated into 2 distinct groups. The leading trio, beginning the descent of the hill, is made up of Tripoli Flyer, Salver, and on the wide outside Lulamba, and they still show with an advantage of about 5 lengths or so over Fingle Bridge, who is in 4th, and Largy Belter bringing up the rear would be round about 8 to 10 lengths behind the leading trio, who now, having run downhill, will begin the climb uphill and also begin to bypass the quartet of fences they would normally take. Tripoli Flyer out in the lead with Salver. Lulamba has now switched onto the heels of the leader as they make their way to the right-hand side of the first of those 4 fences. Gap back to Fingle Bridge with Largy Belter as they continue what is a steady climb here. And Tripoli Flyer continues to make the running. Salver in 2nd place, Lulamba is in 3rd, and that trio remain 10 lengths clear or so from the back pair of Fingle Bridge and Largy Belter. Continuing to ascend the hill, we're past the halfway stage now. And out in the lead, it is still Tripoli Flyer, who's made all to this point. Lulamba on the inside of Salver, who's just bumped along, travelling worst of the leading trio at this stage. And they've still moved on from Fingle Bridge and Largy Belter, who are around about the same distance away as they were. It's about 10 lengths back as Tripoli Flyer leads the ridden along Salver, Lulamba waiting in the wings. So the turn for home, and then we'll have half of the fences in front of them with 4 of the 8 still to take. Fingle Bridge and Largy Belter will begin to have to move if they're going to catch the front trio. So Tripoli Flyer it is who leads Salver, Lulamba continuing to travel comfortably just behind the leader on the running rail in the check colours, and they remain clear. So heading towards the 4th last. Tripoli Flyer, Lulamba now breaks cover, pushes out underneath Salver to get a good sight of this, the 4th last. Then behind these we have Fingle Bridge and Largy Belter. So 4 from the finish. Tripoli Flyer left-hand side, now pressed by Lulamba, who takes it up for the first time, and Tripoli Flyer was down on his nose, and Lulamba quickly establishes a 5-length lead. Lulamba, 3 out into the bottom of it, Salver rallying for pressure, then Tripoli Flyer, the other 2 just not going to get on terms, it would seem. Out in front, Lulamba's not doing a great deal. Salver is still within 3 lengths, and that was the 2nd last. They pulled on from Tripoli Flyer and Fingle Bridge. So down towards the final fence, and Lulamba having to be ridden, but has a clear advantage over Salver. Fingle Bridge is staying on in 3rd. Lulamba is over the last of the 8, has seen off Salver. Running on strongly is Fingle Bridge, who's finishing to some purpose, as is Lulamba. And this is a good first step over fences. Not as many as he might like to have jumped, but he jumped most of them pretty soundly. He's won by about 8 lengths from the running on Fingle Bridge, who ran Salver out of 2nd place. Tripoli Flyer was 4th, and Largy Belter was always towards the rear in 5th.
All right, Nico de Boinville has just given a fairly lengthy debrief after Lulamba's chasing debut. Nico, well done. Talk me through it from where you were sitting.
It was all fairly smooth, I think. I was probably one of the only ones who was a bit disappointed the fences were out down the back, but so be it.
Is that because you really wanted to educate him, or just because of the measure of the ability he's shown you over these obstacles at home?
Well, we came here to educate him as much as anything, and the more fences they jump in public, the better.
He looks quite an active horse, quite still a bit of a playboy, dare I say it, from what he was doing before.
Very much. I mean, you saw him trying to go home and things like that before they let me out. So Yeah, there is. He's fresh and well, and you know, he wouldn't blow a candle out there.
And Nicky's been making quite a bit of the fact that he feels that this is a minimum for him, and he could go out and trip in due course. He didn't look slow.
He's not slow, but you can see from the way he jumps, you could definitely go further.
God, just explain that for me.
He just jumps. He's very clean and makes a lovely shape over his fences. You know, more in the realms of your Ballyburns and things like that, rather than your hurdler types.
Okay, and for this season, do you think he's a sort of horse who you can run quite a bit, or do you think you'll need to be sparing with him, given that naturally sort of active demeanour?
I think he's going to be a horse who rewards you in time with just being patient and picking your battles, as it were.
And in terms of the race as a whole, it looked quite a nice quality race on paper. There was a bit of a depth of opposition. Did it ride like that? Did they go a good gallop? They've
gone a nice enough gallop. We were still fairly well bunched turning in, and then it was a bit more of a sprint for home. But it's lovely ground, lovely fences, and I just wish we had more of them.
All right, well done.
Thanks.
Well, let's get Nicky Henderson's thoughts on the winning chasing debut of Lulamba. Nico de Boinville, Nicky was saying he wished there'd been a few more fences, but to be honest, he doesn't look like he needs that much teaching.
He's just loved it from day one, but this horse just loves life. Everything is a game, and even you can see going out, he's just big. He's like that every morning. Every day he gets up happy, and he wants to go and do it, and his schooling's always been, yeah, it's what he is. He just enjoys himself. He would have liked a lot more fences, but that's fine.
So those antics, they're just playfulness rather than being naughty.
Completely. He is. Henry rides him every morning. I mean, you've got to sit tight. This will do everything to try and throw anybody around.
Why did you come here today? What was the thinking behind coming to Exeter?
Well, this is one of the most lovely novice chase courses you could find. There are no tricks, there are no traps, except for the sun, obviously. But you meet all the fences well. It's a good galloping track. You'd run anything. You'd love to start all your novices around here. It's just great.
And I was struck by a couple of things Nico was saying. One, that he's a sort of horse that will reward you being patient and not overdoing it with him for the time being. Is that something that you agree with?
Well, you're going to ask me where we go next, and if I say it might be in 3 weeks' time, then I'm not exactly taking his advice.
Well, not necessarily. I don't think you would say that.
I mean, his future's in front of him, and I mean, one day, I don't know how far he's going to get, but at the moment, we'll stick around at this.
So you're happy to stick to something around the minimum for the
I think you have to, really, and see, because at the end of the day, you've got to see if he's fast and sharp enough for an Arkle.
What's your instinct?
That he will get further at the end. In time, he'll get a lot further. At the moment, as Nico says, there's no need to go any further. It's, you know, he could have gone round again, yes, but that's not because he's short of speed.
So is it the Henry VIII at Sandown? Is that the race you've got in mind?
That's what we think so. And it's 3 weeks. It's same day as the Tingle Creek. And yeah, I don't, you know, he's done that full of beans. He said he could have gone round again. Well, if he can go round again, he better go round Sandown next.
And was there ever any doubt in your mind that it would be chasing this season?
Yeah. I mean, we had him. There was a very good 4-year-old hurdler at O'Toole yesterday. They're Grade 1. And we put him in there. I think that was to wait and see how the schooling had gone. But from the first day one, really, it was obvious that this was good. And he could do it. You know, he could stand off from here to the moon, but he can fiddle his way. He's very clever on his feet. And, you know, he's had 3 or 4 good schools, and he's just been so clever every time. You can let him loose, or you can fiddle around. He's got all you want. And when you're that good at it, it seemed a pity to mess about over hurdles we found. We did it for Joe and Marie with Cicino last year, and unfortunately that campaign got cut off before we really found out. He just won the one at Kempton. I mean, he could still go either way, to be honest with you, but I think we're not going to go back now. We didn't go to France, and we said we'd come here, and let's hope all's good and we can march on to Sandown and on from there.
No real cause for alarm as Lulamba makes a winning chasing debut. 8 fences successfully navigated. 5-2 on favourite has won for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henderson. And of course, he has that £8 allowance today, and he will have that 4-year-old allowance if he goes into something smart next. Where will be the question we'll be asking Nicky Henderson. Nico de Boinville.
City Isles novice chase?
Well, is he a 2-miler, or does he want something a little further, do you think? Well,
no, I think he'll get further on this evidence. I think he'll definitely get further. And he'll probably end up getting with Tripoli Flyer making a mistake at the first fence in the home straight. Nico de Boinville has probably been there a little bit sooner than what he ideally wanted to, and he pricked his ears at the third last and also the second last. That gave Salver a chance to come back at him, but this was plain sailing. Nico just oozed confidence the whole way around on him. It was a brilliant debut over fences from a horse that I was expecting to jump that well from what I've seen from him at home.
And Fingle Bridge, who was nursed round by Sean Bowen early, has ended up powering past the other two for second, and clearly remains a horse of significant promise. We haven't seen him for 281 days, but Lulamba has won very comfortably. The only cause for any sort of alarm were his rather playboyish antics beforehand, but he's still finished full of himself.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he? And he just love to see a horse going around there pricking his ears and seeing every fence in there. Look at, he's barely blown a candle out, and he'll come on with a lot for the experience there. Bigger things await, Nick.
There was an interesting moment I'd like your perspective on down the back, Darragh, where he was just half guessed at one, and Nico de Boinville got him right back underneath him and said, right, you get deep into the next, and he did.
And that's why Nico is the magician that he is on top of a horse, and that's why he's been around at the top end of the tree for such a long time. He is absolutely brilliant on novices, so he is. If he wants them to go out there and learn as well. It's all about going, yes, but they got to go and win, but they got to learn something whenever they go out there. And like you say, he slightly came out of his hands at the one coming up the hill, or at the first one coming into home straight away. Next fence, pop you. I want you to go into the boards, and I want you to pop. And from then on, it was just plain sailing.
He's a very active horse, isn't he? Always on the move.
Oh, he's a lovely looking horse, isn't he? He's just got everything. He's got nice big ears. He's got everything about him.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.